Call the Board of Commissioners August the 1st meeting to order. And our first order of business is an invocation by our County Manager, Ms. Sharon Griffin.
Thank you and good morning, Chairman Bright and Commissioners. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come before you and conduct the business of Onslow County. Lord, be with the commissioners in their deliberations and bless them with wisdom and guidance as they address the items on today's agenda. Bless our citizens, first responders, and those defending our nation. May all we do this day bring you honor and glory. Now, with deep respect and reverence for the faiths, beliefs, and traditions of those gathered here today, join me in a moment of silence. Amen.
Our pledge by Assistant County Manager, Mr. Ben Warren, please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone here today. We have some elected officials here and some folks I want to recognize. First is Sheriff Hans Miller from Onslow County Sheriff's Office. I think we have Mayor Wenzel from Holly Ridge, town of Holly Ridge. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Is anybody else that you guys recognize? I did that last meeting and overlooked someone, and I apologize for that. We ask that all in attendance please set your cell phone to silent or vibrate mode. The board offers the public one opportunity to speak during the meeting. Comments should be limited to no more than 5 minutes and may be on any issue upon which the Board of Commissioners has control. In accordance with the board's adopted rules of procedure, Commissioners shall reserve responses, if any, for the Commissioner comment period on the agenda, and that's at the end of the meeting. With no other items to be considered, I would entertain a motion to adopt the meeting agenda.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Is there any item on the consent agenda that any commissioner would like to have removed for discussion later?
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 3 is public comment. I will refer to Ms. Griffin, our county manager. Do we have anyone signed up?
Yes, we do. Chairman Bright and Commissioners, this morning we have one citizen speaker signed up for public comment period. I would remind everyone that our public comment period allows citizens who sign up exactly 5 minutes to deliver their remarks. The commissioners do not respond during this period, but rather, if they choose, at the end of the meeting during commissioner comments. We also ask you to address the board as a whole and no one commissioner individually, and to please not have conversations or call up other members from the audience. I would at this time recognize Mayor Jeff Wenzel as our public comment period speaker.
Good morning, Commissioners. I just wanted to give you an update on Holly Ridge. It's been a few months since I've been here, and I just wanted to give you an update. Camp Davis obviously is one of our major projects and growth strategies for Holly Ridge. There are buildings being built from Phase 1, which was the first 60 acres. Phase 2, which is an additional 60 acres. We have 9 lots, and 8 of the 9 have letter of intents, including the most recent one by Project Gridiron. And so we are very excited about that. And we are also looking at possibly adding a Phase 3 in the future as well, too, and see how we can continue to grow from that. Growth in Holly Ridge continues. Just in the first 2 quarters of this calendar year, we have had 139 residential COs, and so that continues to grow. We are seeing an uptick in requests for medium density housing, and so we're going to be having some apartment complexes built in Holly Ridge. Our goal is to have those built on the corridors of Highway 17 and Highway 50 with trying to protect the frontage of the streets with the commercial, and then having set back on the lots the residential aspect. And we're using PUDs to enforce that. We also have the Holly Ridge RV Park, which is very close to opening. This is located right on Highway 50, right behind Holland Shelter Creek Restaurant, and it's going to have 224 RV lots. It's going to be a high-end RV lot with an in-ground pool. They're going to have a country store, a clubhouse, a fitness facility, and we are hoping that being just a few miles off of Topsail Island, we will be able to attract some of the vacationers to come and stay in Holly Ridge, and while they're there, they might as well eat and shop as well, too. Back in February, we adopted our very first master park plan. This is a big step for the town, and this will, of course, enable us to go after grants. It also gives us an overall strategy so we know what we want to do with the facilities and the lands that we have. We are just about finished with a rebranding campaign. Topsail Island, or Holly Ridge, has been known as the gateway to Topsail Island, and that served us well, but we think we are now growing and large enough that we should have our own identity, and not forsake that we're close to Topsail Island, but also we want to include Camp Davis, our history, being close to Topsail Island, and the commercial and the industrial growth that we have. And so we're close to having the rebranding committee done. Finally, our budget, a couple of the highlights. We did have a 3-cent tax decrease for our residents in Holly Ridge. We're excited about that. We do continue to add to our staff by adding full-time positions for community development. We also added a full-time Parks and Recs position, which would be the first time we've had a full-time position for that. And then we added 2 full-time people for the Public Works Department as well, too. So we're excited. Also, we do have a working police dog now, and the dog and its handler have been certified at the highest national level, and so we have that in place as well, too. With growth, we are getting problems and encountering problems that we've never had to deal with before. And I continue to remind our town council that these are great problems to have, and we're going to have to find solutions that we've never had to find before. And so, with the help of you guys, with the help of the Council of Governments, all those resources that we have, it's been very beneficial for us. Onwassa is in the design phase of a new 1 million gallon per day disposal plant, and so we're in the design phase for that, and that will be expandable up to 1.5 million gallons. So that will help supplement what we currently have in Holly Ridge, as water and sewer are, of course, our biggest challenges for infrastructure. Finally, we are excited. Everyone, when people are zigging, we're zagging, and so we have decided not to have a 4th of July fireworks display anymore. Couple years ago, 3 years ago, in fact, fireworks were canceled due to COVID. And then last year, we were not able to secure fireworks for the 4th of July, so we moved it to Labor Day, and we had a really good response. And so we are the only town around now that will have Labor Day fireworks, and it's still going to be the Liberty Fest. We're going to celebrate Liberty. Am I out of time? Okay. Finally, congratulations on your retirement, Mr. Foster.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Wenzel. That concludes.
Okay.
Excuse me, that concludes our public comment period, Chairman.
All right. Well, item number 4 is presentations with proclamations, and I'll turn that over to you, Ms. Griffin, to read those and get our presenters identified.
Thank you so much, Chairman Bright, and I will read the first of our 2 proclamations into the record. State of North Carolina, County of Onslow, Proclamation, Child Support Awareness Month 2022. Whereas Onslow County recognizes August as Child Support Awareness Month and reaffirms its commitment to strengthening Onslow County families by providing child support services to improve the economic stability and well-being of children. And whereas in fiscal year 2021-2022, more than $20 million in child support was collected from parents of Onslow County's children. And whereas there are nearly 7,091 child support orders in place working to ensure that more than 8,400 children receive financial support from their parents. And whereas Child Support Awareness Month salutes the diligent working parents who spend time with their children and who make regular child support payments to safeguard their children's future. And whereas strengthening individuals and families promotes the safety and well-being of children, provides stability, improves the lives of children, and provides opportunities for families to be able to enhance their children's futures. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed, the Onslow County Board of Commissioners do hereby acknowledge August 2022 as Child Support Awareness Month in Onslow County and commends its observance to all citizens, presented this first day of August 2022 by the Onslow County Board of Commissioners. Chairman Bright has requested Commissioner Knapp present this proclamation, and as you can see, representatives from Onslow County Social Services are accepting the proclamation.
First of all, I want to say congratulations. I think child support is very important within our community. You know, I'm kind of the old school. If you have a kid, it's your responsibility to provide the support for that child, regardless of what happens between you and your spouse or whatever. And it's a very important program, and I appreciate the hard work that these people put forth to ensure that the parents that are under child support orders are carrying out those orders. There's a lot of parents out there that are doing this, but there are some that are lacking, and they need to be accounted for because our children are our most important resources. And I believe that firmly, and I will continue to believe that, and we need to support them as much as we can. And my hat's off to you because you got a hard job. It's a very difficult job, but congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go.
And I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chair, and Commissioners for recognizing the importance of child support. As it was noted, there's more than $20 million in the last fiscal year that was brought in for the children of Onslow County, and that certainly goes a long way in ensuring their health and well-being. And we contract actually with Young Williams, and so I will turn it over to Tammy and Veronica if they'd like to take a moment.
Well, thank you very much for allowing us to be here. We've been here since 2014, and the office has done an outstanding job, and we really appreciate all your support. Thank you.
This past year has been a year of change with us coming back into our offices with COVID. And with your support, we continue to grow and become stronger in what we're doing, and we do appreciate that. Thank you.
Our next proclamation is for National Breastfeeding Month, and I will read that into the record. State of North Carolina, County of Onslow, Proclamation, National Breastfeeding Month. Whereas families are a priority in Onslow County, and part of helping families to thrive is ensuring that they receive community support to develop and sustain healthy lifestyles. And whereas most doctors and major medical authorities recommend exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life with continued breastfeeding for at least 1 year. And whereas the consistent and well-documented health, economic, and environmental benefits of breastfeeding show that this is an investment that will continue to produce measurable dividends across the country and many times over for families, employers, and the government. And whereas the Onslow County Health Department promotes and supports strategies that further breastfeeding practices and has increased breastfeeding rates through the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, WIC, and whereas National Breastfeeding Month and World Breastfeeding Week raise awareness to address barriers to breastfeeding faced by families across the United States and around the world. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Onslow County Board of Commissioners acknowledges August as National Breastfeeding Month and supports the WIC program's advancement of breastfeeding to promote best outcomes for Onslow County babies and mothers, presented this first day of August 2022 by the Onslow County Board of Commissioners. Chairman Bright has requested that Commissioner Walter Scott present this proclamation, and as you can see, representatives from our Onslow County Health Department are accepting the proclamation.
Congratulations. Truly. It's an honor to be able to stand up here today, and I don't know why the chairman asked me to do this. Because breastfeeding, when I first was told that I was going to be doing this, I said, oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, and you young mothers that's out there, I want you to know that this is a life-saving measure that is given to you nationally, or natural, by our Creator. I'm not trying to make this, but I'm telling you right now, the benefits of your child being breastfed is tremendous. It reduces the liability of SIDS. It reduces the liability of having cancers. It reduces the liability of having infections throughout their bodies. But most of all, it increases their opportunity in education, vision. It gives them the strength that they need to have a healthy young life to grow. Our health department is here to assist you in every endeavor in making your family healthier. And we want to thank you for what y'all are doing, what you're going to be doing. And on behalf of the commissioners, congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner. Our mothers need support of their family and friends, but they also need support of their community. This proclamation can champion the support that they need to breastfeed and feel supported in that area. So we thank you so much for this proclamation.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to say something?
We're a shy
God
bunch.
bless you. Appreciate you.
Our next item is a public hearing, and I'll turn that over to Ms. Griffin, our county manager, to conduct that agenda item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. We do have one public hearing today, and it is for PREZ-2022-0008, the Matthews rezoning. And at this time, I'm pleased to introduce Jessica Rue, our Planning and Development Director, to give the staff background and recommendation.
Thank you. Good morning. Chairman, Vice Chairman, and Commissioners. We have one rezoning request this morning. It is a request to go from rural agriculture to residential 15. This was submitted by Strong Rock Engineering on behalf of the owners, Christopher Todd Matthews, trustees. This is made up of 6 separate parcels. They are located between Queens Creek and Smallwood Roads, and the 6 parcels total about 85.5 acres. Right now, this property is undeveloped. There are 2 single-family homes sitting out there. There's some farmland and some trees. It has not been completely cleared. We do have Onwassa water available in this area and wastewater from both Onwassa and Pleuris in this area. Northeast Fire District provides the fire service, and the traffic counts weren't available on Smallwood Road, but the most recent data they have, and we recognize this may be a bit antiquated, for Queens Creek is from 2018, and they have that at that point in time at 9,700, with the capacity still at 16,000. When we look out here, we see an area that is textbook transitioning to residential properties. The request is to go to R15. Of course, that allows single-family homes, duplexes, and your customary accessories that go along with residential development. There is much higher density zoning districts out here already. We've got R10, R20, and R5. Of course, that's much higher density than what's being requested. RA, we're familiar with, is 20,000 square foot lots, agriculture, low density, and the proposed district allows 15,000 square foot lots, and again, single family and duplexes. Our comprehensive plan does match this request. Most of the property is medium density residential. That's the classification on the future land use plan. It does support this if there's water and sewer, which, as I just pointed out, we do have in this area. And then a small portion of the property is conservation, as demonstrated here. The planning board did find this to be reasonable due to all of the other residential zoning districts that surround this property, as well as it's being supported by 5 separate policies in our land use plan. Our planning board did unanimously recommend adoption of this rezoning, and there were no comments at that meeting on June 2nd. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rue. At this time, I will open the public hearing for PREZ 2022-00008. And we do have one person who has signed up to speak at the public hearing. I believe this is the applicant, Ann B. Oakley, Straw Rock Engineering. If you would like to approach the podium.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for hearing this case and proposal. I do appreciate your consideration and time. My name is Ann Oakley, and I represent Straw Rock Engineering Group. I am a senior planner, and we're located at 6801 Falls of Neuse in Raleigh, North Carolina. I do want to thank staff for doing an excellent job on the staff report. They have definitely represented that the rezoning that we're requesting is in harmony with the surrounding uses, and we look forward to bringing a quality product that will become part of the community. If you have any questions for me as the applicant and representing the landowners, I'm here for counsel.
Thank you so much. If you'd like to take a seat on the first row, just in case they'd like to speak with you when it's opened for commissioner consideration. We have no one else signed up for the public hearing. I'll make one call to the audience. Would anyone like to speak on this specific topic for the Matthews rezoning? Seeing no one, I will now close the public hearing, and at this time, this is available for the Board of Commissioners' consideration.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion for the rezoning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for coming. General items under item number 6, Ms. Griffin, I will refer that one to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. We do have the consideration of the contract for our county attorney on the agenda tonight or today. Under North Carolina General Statute 153A-114, the county is required to appoint a county attorney to serve at the pleasure of the Board of Commissioners, and he serves as our legal advisor in all matters. Our current contract with attorney Brett DeSelms will soon terminate. We have verified that Mr. DeSelms is in good standing with the North Carolina State Bar. Brett is a partner at Mewburn and DeSelms in Jacksonville, and he has done an excellent job for our Board of Commissioners to best utilize taxpayer funds. We do continue to have Brett on a contract basis. He keeps office hours at the county on a regular schedule. We respectfully request that the board consider the contract for legal services for the county that would go through December of 2024 with Brett DeSelms, and if approved, authorize the chairman to execute the contract.
Motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? I would like to say Mr. DeSelms is a contract attorney. He's not a county employee. We have gone through that before, and it's always worked better with a contract attorney. And some folks may say, well, why are we doing it now? Because the contract don't expire until December, I believe. But the reason for that is because we have to, by law, have a county attorney. It's required for us to have that attorney. If the board were to choose not to renew his contract, then it would give us time to search for another county attorney to put them in place before his time expired. And it also gives him an opportunity, if we do renew his contract, to go through, and attorneys go long-range planning. They don't plan for just tomorrow. They have to have long-range planning. So that's why we went ahead and put this on the agenda now, so there'd be a buffer zone in there to work with either way if we decided to do it or not do it. So that was, if anybody had questions about that I wanted to make sure that was the word on that.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to note that his contract is some $400,000 a year less than what the county was spending when we had in-house legal services, I believe.
Well, we had a county employee, an attorney that was a county employee back before his appointment, and that department was costing the county $650,000 a year. So when we did the contract attorney, we went out on bids, and we got different attorneys to put in bids for the position, and he was the lowest bid, and it was around, at that time, $225,000 a year for his service. And really, he's here. I can pick up the phone anytime and call him, and he's available. So, and that weren't the case with the county employee attorney. But it just works out better that we have a contract attorney than we do for an employee, because that way we save money not only in with the lower rate. We don't have to pay health insurance. We don't have to pay vacation. We don't have to pay holiday time. We don't have to pay comp time. We don't have to pay research for the jobs we do. So that's why it worked out best for, in my opinion, to have a contract attorney. Any further?
I just want to say that Brett's probably one of the quietest guys you'll ever meet until he has an issue. And he's not afraid to address the issue, and he basically gives you the facts. And what the chairman stated about reaching out to him, you can call him at any time during the weekend, at night, it doesn't really matter. He'll answer the phone. And I really appreciate that, because there's been some times that we've had questions and we've had some concerns into what direction the board wanted to go. And I appreciate your honesty, your straightforwardness, and it's a privilege working with you. I just wanted to tell you that, Brett.
Any further? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Brett. Annual settlement of the tax collector, Mr. Kevin Turner. I think this is your item.
First time under fire.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman, Commissioners. Following the close of the fiscal year each year, North Carolina General Statute 105-373 requires the tax collector to provide an annual settlement to the Board of Commissioners. This involves several processes, and the first step in the process is in item B. The collector is to provide a preliminary report showing a list of owners who have unpaid taxes for real property, as well as a list of owners who have unpaid taxes for personal property. On the agenda, you can see the unpaid 2021 real property taxes total $634,074.54. The 2021 unpaid personal property taxes total $290,468.73. I would like to mention that our collection percentage this year was 99.05%. And this is only the second time in the history of Onslow County that we've been above 99%. And this is due to the diligent efforts of our collection staff, along with support from this board and county administration. And at this time, it's respectfully requested that the Board of Commissioners accept the preliminary report with the sworn statement included therein and the list of owners with unpaid taxes for real estate and personal property. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I would just like to say thank you to the tax office and Mr. Harry Smith that's retired now, but you guys work together, and I know you taking on that role, and hopefully you'll carry the torch for the county, and our collection rate will remain the same. I'm really pleased and happy that our collection rate is at that percentage. Like I said, that's kind of like history for Onslow County, but we appreciate what the tax office does, and I appreciate the tax office working with folks as much as you can within the law. And I know there's certain laws that you have to abide by, and there's things that you have to tell our citizens that they, may not want to hear. But that's a tough job, and sometimes you have to deliver bad news, and you have to deliver what the law says you have to do. And we can't, even this board can't tell you to violate the law. And I appreciate you standing firm with that, and we'll do everything we can to support your office. And hopefully, if you have flexibility, you can apply that also.
Right, we do.
Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Kevin, I think the next one is yours also.
It is, the next step in the process is the settlement for current taxes for 2021. The settlement for current year taxes under North Carolina General Statute 105-373A3 states that after July 1st and before he is charged with the taxes for the current fiscal year, the tax collector shall make a full settlement with the governing body of the taxing unit for all taxes in his hands for collection for the preceding fiscal year. The total balance is around $924,543, which is basically the sum of those real and personal property lists from item B. And this year's total is actually about $161,000 less than last year's total. It's respectfully requested at this time that the Board of Commissioners approve the settlement for current year taxes per NCGS 105-373A3. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you, sir. Item D, I guess we're going to keep you up here a while.
Yes, sir, I got two more. Item D is the settlement for the prior year taxes. Under North Carolina General Statute 105-373B provides that the collector presents a settlement to the governing body of the taxing unit for collections made on the prior year's taxes, which would be the preceding 10 years, and that includes 2021. The taxes for the prior years total $2,901,366.32 and are to be charged back to the collector. It's respectfully requested that the Board of Commissioners approve the settlement of taxes for the prior years per North Carolina General Statute 105-373B. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on item D?
Got a quick question. Kevin, the $2,901,000, is that a write-off? Is that what it
No,
is?
that's what's left owing, and we're going to try to collect on those.
Okay, so we're still pursuing collection
Yeah,
efforts?
for
Okay.
10 years, yes, sir.
Any further?
It's an average of about $290,000 a year. That's not too bad over 10 years.
So what happens to the taxes after 10 years?
After the 10 years, those taxes are written off.
Okay,
That we-
and is that forgiven, or what does the county do on that part?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'll be happy to research that, and I can get back to you on that and let you know.
So we continue to pursue every available means that we have to collect this 2.9 that you're talking about here.
Yes.
I think some people will just, not to answer that question for you, but some people that owe those taxes will just walk away, and then we end up foreclosing on the property and then selling it for whatever we can get for the bid, whatever the highest bid on it is. So we don't actually forever forgive it, but we end up taking the property or garnishing wages, whatever avenues we can to try to collect it.
I would also offer that most of that amount, that 2.9 over the last 10 years, is personal property. A lot of those are motor vehicles that are no longer located in North Carolina because families have moved outside of our state.
I remember reading the list of delinquent taxes, and there was a lot of them that were motor vehicle taxes where people just abandoned the vehicle or they didn't pay the taxes on the motor vehicle, which they couldn't get their tag because it weren't paid, but they don't have the car anymore, so they just, they become owed to the county and personal property tax. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Kevin, continue on.
Got one more. The next item is the order of collection for the tax collector. North Carolina General Statute 105-321 stipulates that the Board of Commissioners approve an order of collection authorizing and empowering the tax collector to utilize all available statutory remedies in collecting delinquent taxes. The order of collection has the force and effect of a judgment and execution against the taxpayer's real and personal property. The order includes the 2022 taxes, which will become due September 1st, as well as the prior year's taxes referenced in the settlement. This is what actually gives the collector the authority to do the bank attachments, garnishments, the foreclosures, et cetera. And in addition to those, we do also use North Carolina debt set-off, and we're in the process of being able to use the NC cash program. The debt set-off, that allows local governments to attach state income tax returns and lottery winnings to satisfy combined debts of $50 or more. And the NC cash program is unclaimed funds held by the Treasury Department. And if someone owes taxes and they have those unclaimed funds, we can make garnishments of those and apply those to the tax payments. It's respectfully requested that the Board of Commissioners approve the order of collection and authorize the chairman to sign the order of collection to North Carolina General Statute 105-321. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Item F, 800 megahertz radio system, Mr. Bryson, Emergency Management Director.
Good morning, Chairman, Vice Chairman, and Commissioners. The item before you is a service agreement with Motorola Solutions Incorporated for a service agreement for our 800 megahertz radio system that the county operates for its public safety. This agreement gives us a coverage on system monitoring, as well as for the service techs to come out, and an advanced replacement on any of the parts that we have, which puts us higher on the list of if something goes bad, then we receive that part much earlier than people that are not within advanced replacement. This covers the 2 core sites as well as the 5 radio towers that we have that are within the radio system. We respectfully request that the Board of Commissioners consider the approval of the maintenance service agreement with Motorola Solutions Incorporated in the amount of $457,923.90 and have approved, authorized the chairman to sign the contract amendment on behalf of the county. I'm here for any questions you may have.
Motion? Motion and a second. Discussion?
There isn't anyone else that can maintain their own equipment. They obviously know how to maintain their own equipment better than anybody else, correct?
Yes, sir. With it being a proprietary system being by Motorola, they are the best to have in to actually fix the system. They're going to have to get the parts from themselves. So if we went with anyone else secondary, they would be turning around and still buying those parts through Motorola, which would probably cost us more money.
Any further? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Surplus land, Ms. Christina Russell.
Chairman, Commissioners,
Good morning.
good morning. The county received 3 new offers from a citizen to purchase surplus real property. These offers are parcel number 03-1209 located at East Drive for an amount of $5,150. Parcel 160353, Sylvester Street, in the amount of $4,100, and parcel number 028668, Sylvester Street, for the amount of $4,100. The statute allows the county to sell the property that no longer serves a public purpose, is uneconomical, and inefficient. The county's standard practice is to sell the surplus land under the negotiated offer, advertisement, and upset bid process. This process allows other interested parties to submit upset offers on the property when it's advertised for a 10-day period. If no upset bids are received during that 10-day period, the property will be sold to the citizen. And if the county receives any upset bids, the high offer will be brought back to the board for consideration. It's respectfully requested that the Board of Commissioners approve resolution numbers 22-010, 22-011, and 22-012, which authorizes the purchasing division head to conduct the sale of the property using the negotiated offer, advertisement, and upset bid process, and to have the chairman sign the resolutions on behalf of the county.
Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
Energy program outreach, I think social services folks will be coming up to present that, and I'll let her introduce herself since Carrie Sanders is not here today.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Susan Thickpen, the Deputy Director with Social Services. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity this morning to come present our energy program outreach plan. The Social Services does receive funding each year for energy programs, and this funding is used to provide assistance to individuals and families that are experiencing crisis due to heating or cooling needs. And as part of receipt of those funds, the state requires that we submit our energy programs outreach plan each year. And the plan this year is actually unchanged from the plan last year. This plan establishes a framework to ensure that all eligible households are made aware of the services that are available. And Social Services does work throughout the year to get that information out through a variety of means. And that includes social media, as well as providing applications at community service sites, as well as senior services. So I'm here this morning requesting that the Onslow County Board of Commissioners, as the Consolidated Human Services Board, approve the energy program's outreach plan that has been submitted, and that you also authorize the chairman to sign on behalf of the Consolidated Human Services Board. I will be glad to answer any questions if you have some.
Motion?
To approve.
Have a second. Have a motion and a second. Do we advertise this to very well, or do you contact people that we know that's in situations, or how do we get the word out, Susan, about this?
We get the word out through a variety of means. We partner with a lot of our agencies, such as One Place. Infant of Prague is one place that we do. Any of the areas that we know that may serve our population. We also have posters up at several of the county offices that serve our citizens of Onslow County. And as I said, through social media, we make sure we get that information out as well.
Very good, very good. And the cooling part, is that air conditioners or fans or what?
It is assistance for electricity bills is typically where that funding comes into.
Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
The ACT Associate, Sherry Slater, will give us that item.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. This morning I have before you a contract with ACT Associates. In February of this year, you all approved and accepted the COSAP grant from the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and as a part of that grant process, we'll be providing medication-assisted treatment as well as counseling services within our detention center. This contract is for ACT Associates to provide those services for us, as we believe we should have folks who are the experts in mental health and medication-assisted treatment to provide that service. This will respectfully request that the Commissioners consider approval of the contract with ACT Services, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Motion?
Motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Ms. Slater.
Thank you, sir.
J, Women, WIC, I guess that's a WIC program. Ms. Hoover, good to see you this morning.
Good to see you, gentlemen. Good morning, Chairman, Vice Chairman, and Commissioners. The item that I'm bringing to you is an increase in our allocation for WIC funding. This WIC program, which is federal funds, is based on a caseload. They have increased our caseload from 6,435 to 7,501, and we're actually serving more individuals than that. In June, our WIC program served 7,668, but the funding is based on that increase in caseload. What we are respectfully requesting today is that the Board of Commissioners approve the acceptance of an additional allocation of funding from the Division of Public Health in the amount of $70,782 for AA 403-1 Women's and Children's Health and Nutrition Program for state fiscal year 23, and authorize the Health Director to sign the associated agreement. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Motion?
So moved.
Have a motion? Do we have a second? Did I hear a second? Any discussion?
What is the reason for the uptick, and do y'all have a pinpoint cause?
So one of the things that we suspect is probably helping to drive this is that the extension of the federal public health emergency has changed the way that we deliver some of our programming. For WIC in particular, because it is a federal program, they have allowed much of the service for that to be done virtually. So we do those educational offerings by phone and by telehealth, so it does not require the individuals to physically come in the building as it did, prior to 2020 when the pandemic begun. That has made it much easier for our WIC participants to stay connected, to not have to take off of work, to make accommodations, to come physically into the building. They're able to schedule those more easily and then just check out from wherever they might be, connect with us virtually for a short time, and then get back to their day. We believe that that's probably what's driving the increase in participation.
Okay, so this is actually a new case that we did not have prior?
Correct. That change to be able to serve them virtually came along with the public health emergency. That public health emergency at the federal level continues, and right now it will continue through the third quarter. Whenever that public health emergency ends, we'll see if this is a change that will be allowed to stay in place specifically for WIC programs, but right now it is temporarily in place just because of that emergency.
And you just hit my concern. In the future.
Right, so our WIC team is already making accommodations of how to try to resume some of those functions that we had before. What we know is that we've seen a lot of this increase in participation happen, not just here in Onslow County, but this is kind of the federal trend. Across the country, we're seeing that same type of uptick. So I think it's one of the things that our federal folks will take a look at, see if that's something that they will allow to remain in policy, or if that is a policy that they want to roll back. I think it'll be really difficult because a lot of things have permanently changed with COVID. And, people don't go to the grocery store to buy their groceries anymore. We all order our groceries online and pick them up. So I think it's going to be something that is certainly beyond our level to consider and to think about, but it is one of those conveniences that we see our mothers and our babies able to access their services and stay connected in, easier by having this. And so we hope to see that it will continue.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? And you're wrong about shopping online. I still like to squeeze my tomatoes when I go grocery shopping. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Thank you, Christie. Thanks. The next item, K, is Glenn Halstead.
Good morning, Commissioners, Chair, Vice Chair. What I have before you today is a contract for Tyler Technologies. Tyler Technologies contains several pieces of software. Energov, which supports the planning processes, Munis, which supports finance and HR. It also does workflow planning for facilities maintenance and fleet maintenance. This is a 3-year contract, and what we're asking is we respectfully request that the Board of Commissioners consider approval of this contract with Tyler Technologies in the amount of $397,621.83 and authorize the chairman to sign on the county's behalf. Both myself and finance, HR, planning directors are here if we have any questions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
School Resource Officer, that'll be Sheriff Miller.
Good morning, Commissioners, staff. For the record, I'd like to state that I'm glad that the board renewed Mr. Dishelm's contract. He has been very supportive of the Sheriff's Office as well, with questions, with contracts, with litigation and everything, and I want to thank you for that. This next agenda item requires your approval because it involves finances. The Onslow County Board of Education and the Onslow County Sheriff's Office have entered into an agreement whereby the Sheriff's Office provides school resource officers, elementary, middle, and high schools. There have been financial changes since last year's contract, adding the elementary schools to this year's budget and increasing the revenue from $1,006,929 to $1,618,380.22. And this involves salary, equipment, training, benefits, insurance, and other requirements that are state certified or required. The Board of Education and Sheriff Miller, myself, wish to continue this agreement beginning in July 1, 2022, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion, oh, excuse me, go ahead.
Discussion?
This adds full-time resource officers to elementary schools.
That would be correct, because right now, we don't have enough school resource officers to have full-time at every elementary school. Unfortunately, some of the things that have been happening throughout our country have required for us to provide that presence, school resource officers that are trained and to deal with safety, security, and also deal with our children and staff as well.
Any further? We have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Budget amendments, Ms. Lisa Marlin. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, it's my pleasure to present to you 5 budget amendments for your approval today. Item B3 is an increase for ITS expenditures related to the new requirement of the Administrative Office of the Courts to support their wireless expansion and CRAVE technology upgrade. Unfortunately, this requirement came out after the fiscal year 23 budget was already adopted by the board. Item B4 decreases line items for state funding for the Health Department's ELC enhancing detection activities to align with the expected state receipts. Item B5 is an increase in revenues and expenditures for the Health Department as described earlier by Ms. Hoover in item 6J. Item B6 is an increase to line items for the Breastfeeding Peer Counselor Program to align with expected receipts from the state. And item B7 is an expenditure increase in order to fully utilize restricted MIPA funds that were already received from the state. These funds were not fully expended in FY22 due to supply chain issues. We respectfully request that the Board of Commissioners approve these budget amendments, and I am happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Motion?
Motion approved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appointments, I will turn that over to Ms. Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. We have one advisory committee in need of appointments tonight, or today, rather. The Animal Services Advisory Committee is composed of 7 members that are appointed by the Onslow County Board of Commissioners and serve at your pleasure. The advisory committee was created to advise Onslow County Animal Services Director with respect to animal service matters. Mr. Joshua Forrester has expressed an interest in reappointment and has provided a citizen participation application that is on file and has been certified by the clerk's office. He is serving in seat number 6, the at-large category. At this time, we respectfully request that the board consider reappointment of Mr. Joshua Forrester, seat number 6 at large, for a 3-year term expiring May 16th, 2025.
A motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries unanimously. We didn't have anything that was moved from the front to the consent agenda. We are at item 9, Ms. Griffin's comments, the county manager.
Thank you. I don't have any big comments today other than just encouraging everyone to be safe as we get closer to the school year beginning. We are seeing an uptick in more COVID cases around our community.
Okay, item 10 is commissioner comments. I'll start with this side of the room, Commissioner Scott.
Well, good afternoon, and I hope everybody's doing well. Today we had some presentations. I was not educated at all about the breastfeeding. Thanks to our staff, now Miss Julie, she got me educated. Trust me, you young parents out there, please seek out guidance and assistance. It's not only going to help you financially, it's going to benefit your child. I never knew the benefits of doing that, but my hat's off to you and God bless you now for that. It's a gift. Got National Night Out that's coming up on Tuesday. I plan to be there. My wife and I are going to be taking a trip up to Virginia this afternoon, but we have all intentions of being back home tomorrow night, on Tuesday night. So other than that, I want to thank the employees for doing what they're doing every day to keep Onslow County citizens serviced and just keep their affairs taken care of. And I know you go through a lot because commissioners get some phone calls sometimes that we can't help them. But you know something? We'll do anything we can to assist you in what we have to do, but everything has got to be done in such a way that we're not showing no favoritism. I just want people to know that we are sincere about taking care of you. There's not a commissioner up here that will not help you, assist you in any way that we can. There's things that's going on. There's comments that's been made. Let me assure you, not a commissioner on this board treats nobody else any better than anybody else. The last thing that I want to talk about is there's been some comments lately about me in Pacific. A lot of people concerned about my health. Let me assure you, Walter Scott will do everything he can to serve the citizens of Onslow County. I thank you for your thoughts, your prayers. But you know, I'm coming from a long history of medical issues. I've had 43 procedures and surgeries since my retirement in '94. I'm letting y'all know that I am a fighter. And I really appreciate the concern. But I'll see y'all Tuesday night. Football season's coming up. Mr. Foster has relinquished his command at Southwest. But I'm looking forward to being back on the football field shortly. And I appreciate y'all and thank you for allowing me to serve you.
Commissioner Price?
Thank everyone for being here this afternoon. And once again, I'd reemphasize the National Night Out as a great event. It's probably one of the most popular as far as numbers event in the county along the Riverwalk Park in Jacksonville. So it'll be a good time. Also, the Jamboree, the high school football Jamboree is at Northside High School. I believe it's August the 12th. It's 6 p.m. So chance to get out and see some high school football early on. And as long as the weather holds out, it has a tendency to thunderstorm there occasionally, so be ready. But have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Commissioner Knapp?
I really don't have much to say, except I just want to reiterate, thank you, Brett, for everything that you've done for the county. I think you've been a tremendous asset to the county for your intellect, for your ability as an attorney, for your foresight and hindsight. It's very much appreciated, and it's great when we can pick up the phone and just call you. You can ask for your opinion. We can joke with you, but one thing is for certain: you're pretty straightforward, and you walk that line, and you never cross it. And I really appreciate that. And as a professional and as a friend, thank you very much. The only thing I got to say is I just want to thank everybody for coming out today. August is an exciting month. It's going to be, obviously, the weather's going to have a lot to do with it. But regardless of the weather, August ushers us into college football, and that's what's the most important thing in the South. I just want everybody to know that. So my alma mater plays at the end of August. Do not call me or text me, because I will be screaming at my TV. And this is what it's all about. And this is a great time for football, and I'm excited about it, and I can't wait for the season to begin. But other than that, thank you guys for showing up, and we'll see you at the next meeting.
Thank you. Commissioner Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank Mayor Wenzel for coming all the way to Jacksonville to give us an update of the great things that are happening in Holly Ridge. Holly Ridge is an important part of Onslow County. And I know that the Jacksonville-Onslow Economic Development Partnership has been instrumental in helping Holly Ridge in their growth challenges. In fact, JOED is making a difference all the way across Onslow County by promoting business and industrial development, from working with Swansboro businesses to Hubert Boat Builders, and recently working with the city of Jacksonville. JOED has secured over $1.2 million in grant funding to develop the Jacksonville Business Park. That money will be used to install infrastructure such as stormwater management systems and to extend the road. And a private contractor has already agreed to build a speculative building on that site at no cost to taxpayers. And when this building is sold, some of the proceeds will return to Jacksonville-Onslow Economic Development Partnership to start what's called an incubator fund that will be used in the future to build future speculative buildings or to assist businesses and startups and business expansions in Onslow County. All good news for Onslow County. I'm looking forward to a bright future for Jacksonville-Onslow Economic Development Partnership. I hope all of you have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chairman Foster.
Just following up there with Commissioner Bennett, is thanking Mayor Wenzel for coming in and giving us a little update on what's going on in Holly Ridge. I think that benefits us as well as all of Onslow County, knowing what's going on in each of the municipalities. And great idea of bringing more to Holly Ridge with that RV park, and Surf City is moving further and further out, so you need to get a piece of that pie as well. I look forward to coming down and meeting with you and visiting some of those businesses down in Holly Ridge. And Brett, I'm gonna have to borrow one of these guys' cell phones because you don't answer my calls, so I figured if I'd use their phones, you'd answer my call. So, all these accolades they're giving you, I just tell you, no, serious note, we appreciate what you do. You do answer the phone, and you keep us updated with everything, and do a really good job of keeping everything on the up and up and making sure everything's done the right way. And we appreciate your efforts in being part of the Onslow County team. And other than that, I appreciate the turning over the reins there in Stallion Country, and the congratulations on retirement from you, Mayor. So right now my calendar's opened up a lot on Friday nights in August through June now, so I'm looking forward to that. But thanks for everybody for coming out today.
Thank you, sir. I want to thank all the department heads for presenting their items today. Every one of you did a really super good job. I don't want to sit here and name all of you, but thank you for doing that. Thank you, Sheriff Miller, and thank you, Colonel Thomas, for handling and going to work with us on a situation that happened last week that we're trying to address now. And I believe we do have a handle on it, and I think we can move forward with that. As far as having cell phones that connect with the attorney, I would suggest that you get rid of that 2 strings and the bean can that you're using for a phone, because I don't have no problem.
Are you serious?
Calling Brett myself.
Used the Star Trek phone for the longest time.
So, anyway, thank y'all for being here. Have a good day. I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Says the flip.